Hello everybody out there and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review. Mike's back. We have a guest star dog who wants to say hi to Michael. Yes. And we are on the road to 500, a couple of days late unfortunately, but this is episode 494, which means only 6 more episodes.
With all the beautiful rainbow colors.
Until we hit 500.
It's going to get weirder and weirder every week.
You are weirder and weirder.
I can't help myself.
You are weirder and weirder every single week. So, this week, because we are a bit late, we're going to skip over the pre-review show. But like I said, we're back to the normal format. We only have how many books this week?
We have 12 books, so 6 from each of us.
And yeah, 6 from each of us. We actually have 6 and 6, so it's an even review. We're going to be going through this quick. Hopefully, we'll get back to our schedule of Sunday, Monday at least. So this Sunday or Monday we'll have this Wednesday's books. I think this was a smaller week for us. I don't know yet. Let's not jinx it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, should I say what books when it came out? Because these books
for this review
were released on May 15th, 2019.
Are you that interested in this review, Cookie?
Yes. So let's put you over here.
Let's do that.
Thank you.
So,
all right. So
I would like to also tease that next episode this coming Sunday we will have the newer issue of Argo 5, so look forward to that. If you'd like to see it early though, you can go check it out at Argo Comics, ARGO Comics.com right now. But
yes,
that's next episode. This episode, which there are still 6 episodes left until we get through this one. Let's get into this week's books.
So I'm going to start with my books.
Yeah, we're going back to the tablet format now again.
Yes. So I'm going to start off with Xena Warrior Princess issue number 2. So from last issue, Xena was told by the sorceress that in order to not sacrifice the people, she could take her. So both her and Gabrielle are on a mission to basically try to not get the sorceress to run over her spell or anything, and they go through like this whole war and everything against the Romans to try to let them not get past them. And then at the end, the sorceress got it pretty good from Zeus, but zapped her along with Xena and Gabrielle. Where? We don't know until the next issue. So huge twist at the end though, really good.
Now, this is one of the first books I read, and it's now over a week ago. TMNT Shredder in Hell, issue number 3. The dragon has awoken in Shredder, and he apparently has some abilities. And finally, he's starting to realize, holy crap, Kitsune used me. And he actually apologizes for the way he was. And I like how most of his sins from the past kind of understand and dissipate. However, there are still beings in hell that wish to keep him there, to keep him away from Kitsune, not trusting that he might actually go back to her. Splinter, or his soul, gets hurt in this book, and it kind of sets Shredder off. That's how Shredder kind of initiates his power in this world. I like it. I'm interested in seeing where this goes, and with all this realization now on Shredder's end, if he does come back to the realm of the living, it's going to be interesting to see if he actually goes back to being, Shredder, the Shredder versus the Turtles, or if he's actually going to work, as the Dragon Heel. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if he continues his role as the arch nemesis of the Turtles, or if he actually might try to do an honorable thing with the Foot Clan.
Marvel Action SpiderMan, issue number 4. The Adventures of Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Gwen Stacy. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, because I feel like... but anyway. So, they're still doing their news report of their journalists. We have J. Jonah Jameson, who makes a... his news thing about being at the Daily Bugle and yada, yada, yada. Like, he makes a assembly announcement. That's what I was looking for. And then some person crashes in. That's the old nemesis of J. Jonah Jameson. And you have all the Spider-Men that were there on the action. And it looks like that now Kraven the Hunter is going to be appearing in the Spider-Man comic book. And I thought Iron Man would be in this one because last issue we saw Iron Man.
It might be a teaser for future issues.
It could be, but that was really something. So now we'll be seeing Kraven in the Marvel Action comic book. Robin Hood Outlaw issue number 4 was definitely always favorite book of the week. I mean, Robin Hood is still out there trying to find out who killed Greenwich, or I don't know how you really say her name.
You said it right,
Greenwich, thank you, yeah. So Robin's not getting along with this underground lady who is part of the group. Meanwhile, they do get along after a while by working together to find out more information about Greenwich. After the issue continues on and on and on and on, and then they're just going underground, and they're just trying to find out that there is actually somebody who wants her dead, that she feels. And one of them that we see at the end of the page, we don't know who it is, but the suspense and guessing who it is, I don't want to say who because I might be wrong, but I could probably guess who.
So it's we're in Marvel now. We're starting with the big two, and Uncanny X-Men issue 18. I don't know if it's the fact that they announced finally that definitively Uncanny X-Men, as well as all the X-Men books, will be ending come July when when the new event happens for X-Men, the one that's gonna negate Age of X-Men.
Oh, I can't even remember the name right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember too, and I can't. So you got we lose another member of the X team, which again I feel like all that's going on it's going to be undone by whatever comes next in events. But now you have Alex and Scott who are kind of questioning about Emma. Another person wants to leave the team, and Emma kind of realizes now that, you know, the X-Men know because of Juggernaut, and apparently Mystique is working with her. I don't know if it's by her own accord or she's being mind controlled. Either way, though, I don't know. It could be a mix of it's going to get rebooted, soft rebooted, when the new event happens, or it could just be that this arc is kind of like, I don't know at this point if the arc is just there to finish out all that's happened with Uncanny X-Men from... This is the big period at the end of... From Schism all the way to now. And I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Spider-Man Life Story 3, the 80s.
This
was really good.
This book hit home for me and was book of the week for me. Especially because of Aunt May. Because Aunt May ends up suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's in this book. And our grandmother, currently in reality, is facing the same thing. And it's crazy how, you know, reading about Pete and, you know, the way Aunt May is, it's like there are so many relatable things here, just from real life experiences. And also he has the alien suit right now. He has 2 kids. And remember, the alien suit kind of messes with him in a way. It kind of, it makes him more aggressive or whatever. He goes back to his classic costume for a time, takes the black suit off. We have the hunt that happened, the hunt for the Kraven Hunter arc that happens, and it's done differently. Again, Pete's getting older now because he's aging along with the times, and it's crazy. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this was really, like you said, what hit home. That definitely.
You have nothing else to add? Did you read it?
No, I read it. Like, I mean, you know me, I'm a big fan of the Spider-Man symbiote costume, but we see more in-depth detail of how it really actually messes with his mind, but also more in deeper detail that now he has children.
And I like how Mary Jane was kind of a little upset. She's like, I'm used to being second place, you know, and I don't say anything. And in the end, she ends up leaving him, which is crazy because of all the crazy stuff that's going on with Aunt May and him being Spider-Man still. I feel for Pete by the end of this issue. Next, we're going into the 90s. I'm very excited to see what the 90s bring. And again, every 10 years, Pete's getting older. So by the time we get to current day, which I think we have 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and we're going to be caught up then, it's going to be interesting to see the next 3 parts.
Yep. All right, so I want to give this issue a try. The War of the Realms.
That's stupid.
Spider-Man and the League of Realms.
That's stupid helmet. I'm sorry, and I have War of the Realms. I'm sure it's probably after this. That helmet just bugs the crap. I just want to go into the comic book and smack it right off the top of Spider-Man's head because it's like, it does not.
Or I just take it off and go, nope. Just nope.
Just nope. Exactly.
But this issue...
It's not funny.
See, this is the thing. I don't know the War of the Realms storyline.
Yeah,
with the whole monsters and everything. It's just like he's teaming up with these War of the Realms, trying to get a whole band together to try to stop something.
Malekith.
Yeah, and it actually says in War of the Realms 3 and 4 that this whole thing was happening where Thor said that he is actually the one to be... to
lead the Avengers?
Yeah, to put the War of the Realms in charge of all this.
Yeah, he's the one that's in charge. Yeah, that's how issue 4 ends. That's how we're going to talk about in a minute.
I mean, I like it a little bit. It's just that the whole thing of... I just don't know the War of the Realms perspective.
Well, it's only 4-part. It's only a 3-part mini, so...
Yeah, and the Punisher, I don't even know what happened to that one because it's been like over almost a month now. The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 21. This is Hunted, part 5.
And by the way, Battle Lines again is going on with Marvel, and there are a lot of really nice Battle Line variants. I got a couple. You'll be seeing them on the monthly haul over on Comic Frontline, but I'm very impressed with what Marvel's doing. This week, because we didn't have anything that we needed from Midtown, I kind of held off, but if we have any books next week, I'll definitely be ordering a couple of extra variants, because the variants are good, and they're cover price, which is what I love.
Yes, so in this one, we have Craven, who actually helps out the symbiote Spider-Man by giving him
symbiote Spider-Man. He just helps Spider-Man out. That's just the black
Spider-Man,
costume,
yeah. Of bringing him back, with all the medicines and stuff like that. It basically focuses on Craven and his son a little bit more, because we still have to get to the part where Black Cat and has still Kirk Connor's son. Actually, Kirk Connors does appear in this issue, but let's just say it looks like the end for him. It turned for pretty much the worst, that he can't control it no more. So
back to the lizard, basically.
Yeah, back to that.
War of the Realms, issue number 4. Mike kind of mentioned the ending where Thor kind of assumes control. This issue has Freya and Odin fighting off to cut Malekith's ability to the Bitfrost, the Everfrost, the something Frost. And I like how Tony gives Odin his own kind of armor to fight next to Lady Freya. The fight was awesome. Of course, Malekith also has Venom under his control. It connects to the Venom comic. Again, all these tie-ins kind of give you a little bit more backstory. Again, do you have to? No. Again, it's just a really cool all-out fight book. I enjoyed this issue a lot. Unfortunately, from what this book shows, it looks like Odin and Lady Freya end up dying. And like I said, Thor assumes control. Not assume, he basically says, I'll lead the charge against Malekith, because now the Bitterfrost is gone, so he can't travel between realms anymore. He doesn't have that open ability to leave from place to place. So now he's stuck in on Earth, and now the war actually begins. The fight to finish this actually begins, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, and now we're in DC.
And now we move on to DC.
With 3 more books. My book for DC is Teen Titans issue number 30. So we're going back to the regular Teen Titans. And things get very, very much out of... This is the Terminus Agenda epilogue, basically.
Yeah, basically the fallout.
Right. And this is where things actually got more out of control than... I feel like the team is actually going to be falling apart now. Because, like Robyn says that the criminals should be... still in jail, but Dijin thinks that they should get another chance and everything, so everything just turns out where they fight each other, and it just gets way out of hand. I'm looking at this, and in the end, It looks like somebody's going to be appearing in this comic book of Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like somebody's daddy is home and it's not Robyn's daddy. It's somebody else's daddy. You're going to want to see who it is. Well, I should say it because it's out now. It's Lobo, basically.
These last two books didn't really do much for me this week. Batman 71 left me questioning if one half of the book was a hallucination or if the other half was. I don't know. We have Batman assembling the team now. And I asked around, I don't know if maybe the Alfred scene where Bane and Thomas Wayne were at Wayne Manor was a flashback where Bruce goes into his house and there's Bane and Thomas Wayne eating dinner, and Batman is saying he's going to basically break Bane, and Alfred kind of says, Bane's broken you, and you see that Batman gets the Bat family together. He throws out a warning at Arkham and then leaves, and then the team is kind of worried about him, and they're worried that he started falling apart ever since the separation with Catwoman, and Tim kind of tries to reach out and kind of offer Bruce, his help, and Bruce just knocks him out. And this is where the split scene happens, where you see Bruce literally knocking Tim on his ass, and Alfred saying, Master Bruce, don't you see, Master Bruce, Bane's broken you. So basically Bane has broken Batman, and we'll see how this goes. Again, he's out of the dream world, so I'm riding this out a little bit longer, but is it the worst book? No. Is it the best book? No. It's somewhere in the middle, just like Superman issue 11, somewhere in the middle. So Rogol-Zar is there, Zod is there. It's a big fight. Superman basically asks one side to stop fighting, and their reason that they're not going to stop fighting is because they won't stop fighting. I'm sorry, but Bendis' writing sometimes is just so stupidly goofy. So basically, one end of the fight, one faction isn't stopping because they're fighting still. So Superman goes over to the other side and says, "Please stop." And they recognize it's Superman, and she's like, "Oh shit, that's Superman. Stop." And he's like, "I said, and at first she doesn't. And he's like, "I said please." Or was that with the people that said, well, they won't stop fighting? I don't know. One side, he does that too. And Rogol-Zar still fighting there. You have Zod, who at first looks like he's on Rogol-Zar's side, but then isn't. It looks like he's like trying to show John that he's not there to hurt him. And in the end, Supergirl shows up. And now it's going to be the L family versus Rogol-Zar, the forgettable villain that once Brian Michael Bendis is off the Superman book, we probably won't even be hearing the name Rogol-Zar ever again. That is pending if he doesn't die at the end of this arc that Bendis is already writing. Again, not my absolute worst book, but nowhere near top 5 material for me either. I would say this is somewhere in the middle. The writing, in my opinion, is still goofy. While some people say, well, this is kind of like a classic Superman, I don't feel it. And it's not Bendis. I've tried to take the writer out of my mind completely. And when I read Superman, sometimes there's just some goofy stuff that either he says or somebody else says, and it just doesn't feel like a Superman book. Which is why I'm hoping that this time next year, when I'm reading Superman, I'll be reading, hopefully, if not one writer, 2 writers on 2 separate books. If Bendis is going to stay with Superman, hopefully he'll only have one, and somebody else will take over the other Superman title, because at this point Bendis has everything Superman related, and I'm just not feeling it. And once Young Justice gets out of this, let's introduce every single character and what they've been up to arc, we'll see if he could actually write Young Justice. At this point in time, there are some really awesome scenes in Young Justice. I'm not hating on Bendis, period. I do enjoy his Young Justice. I just want him to get out of this whole let's introduce everybody realm. And let's face it, Teen Lantern's a forgettable character that probably also will disappear into the obscurity of nobody cares, like when Amethyst and wow, why did I forget her? See, I already forgot her name, but the guy used to Gina Hex, when Gina Hex ends up leaving as well, because they're gonna leave and they're gonna try to bring in some classic Young Justice old castmates or old members at some point. Possibly, maybe I'm wrong, but at this point in time, at least in 2019 May, I still don't give two craps about Teen Lantern. Amethyst, if she leaves after this arc, I wouldn't feel anything. Same thing with Ginny Hex. I just feel like we have our main Young Justice team that we all care about: Cassie, Tim, Connor, Bart, and then you throw in these other characters just to have them there, and they're not clicking yet. Maybe they will. Like I said, this time next year, maybe I'll be saying something different. Who knows? For right now, and we're not even talking about Young Justice. We're supposed to be talking about Superman. Again, this is somewhere in the middle for me when it comes to Superman. I'm not completely wowed by it, and I'm not. It's a little underwhelming, maybe I would say, if anything. So we'll see when Bendis gets this, because I know he's doing Leviathan right now also, and that's in action. So Leviathan's his big event that's going to be going on, the Leviathan something. It's Leviathan. Yeah. And that's his little event that's going to be going on between Superman and I believe Batman, or within the DC universe. That's his event book for 6 issues. So we'll see when that finishes and the Roll Goes arc finishes with Superman, if Bendis is going to be sticking around or if we're going to be moving into different territory. We also have Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. I believe one of those titles is a miniseries. The other one is ongoing. So we'll see how those two go in another 2 months. I still have to do our DCBS order, actually, for the month of July. Yeah, July. So we'll see when those 2 books drop as well. But that's it for this review, everyone. Now it's your turn. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about the books we talked about this episode. Likes, dislike, agree, disagree, recommendations. We always love hearing from all of you whenever you have something to say. Yeah, so hopefully we'll have the next episode on time. This coming Sunday. Well, today's already, by the time you're watching this, it'll be Friday morning. So let's hope for at least a Monday night recording, so this way we can start getting back on track when it comes to our comic reviews. But till then, guys, take care, keep reading, keep collecting. We'll see you all really soon in the next episode.
Hey, everyone.